So one thing that running has helped me realize is that I have gas.
I'm doing damage. The king's gambit. They do not understand it. Cause I've been sharpening my blade. I'm here to
Welcome back to episode 4 of my beginner to marathon journey. Don't mind the mess behind me. We're actually just in the middle of a video shoot for a product, but I just want to do a quick check-in with you guys and let you know how my week 1 of 10K planning is going. Alrighty, so we are in week 1 of my 10-week, I believe it is, 10K plan. I'm expected to be done with this plan for around December, end of December. So that will be right in time because I have my official 10K planned for middle of January. So this will be perfect timing. I'll be done. I'll have a couple more weeks just if I wanted to use that time to continue to improve or to start maybe my half marathon plan. But I figured I'd just do it this way because kind of what I did with my 5K plan was, I did a 5K last week and then I actually my official 5K in a couple weeks. So just to kind of give myself some leeway and measure where I'm at the end of the training plan, and then also given more training, how do I end up at the end? So how was week 1? Week 1 was amazing. I finally have started to understand where I need to be running in terms of my pacing. So one of my biggest struggles with the first part of my 5K plan was just when do I land in zone 2 and just have the frustrations of it. And it's still frustrating because I find myself, when my training plan says to run at a conversational pace, I always find that when I start, I'm always running a little too fast, or I just don't feel like right in the beginning. And as I start to push the pace and I end up going way above my zone 2, and I just need to be in around a 150 or below pace. So what I've learned to do is just kind of do a really good warm up, maybe just do a walk for maybe a quarter mile, just to get my body moving, do some stretches. I can't for the life of me do those A skip stretches, whatever they call it. Maybe I'm just not coordinated enough, but I cannot do those things. I tried. I just looked like an idiot out in the field. So I just stopped. I just kind of do some static stretches before I run. But now, with the week 1, it was an easy run on first day, which was great. I was able to stay within zone 2. I ran pretty much the whole time. I think it was a 2-mile run, no issues whatsoever. Felt great. And on Wednesday, I had my interval training, and that was, one of my things that I did in the previous plan was I pushed too hard in interval training to the point where like I couldn't even get through the whole interval. So like if I was doing a 400-meter interval and then followed by a walk for 90 seconds, I barely would make 300 meters and just have to start walking because I was pushing so much way above where I needed to be. So with the new plan, it actually tells me, okay, go at a pace of 11 something or 10 something for the quarter mile. So that was kind of a very helpful for me because what ended up happening was I knew where I needed to be and actually could last the entire interval. Towards the end, when I was in my fourth interval out of 4, I was really pushing it because I felt so comfortable and I felt like, okay, I can really push this a little bit more. And that just felt great. So that was one of the things that I learned is I need to not push so hard in interval training because the next day I would just be so exhausted. So I'm usually lifting the next day and I just decided, I'm not going to be lifting because I'm so tired from the interval training. So this week, interval training was so good that I was able to lift the next day. And then today, which is Friday, I ended up having my tempo runs, which is just kind of like, hey, go for a 3-mile run, but for the first mile, go at a conversational pace. Second mile, go a little bit faster at this pace, and then third mile, go at this pace. And I was very surprised because I was able to do the entire 3 miles without stopping and without really, feeling like I was going to pass out. It just kind of helped me reflect that where I started about 6-7 weeks ago to now, I could barely do half a mile before where I would do half a mile and I had to walk or I'd be so exhausted or so tired. And now I can run 3 miles, no problem. I felt great. My feet felt great. My heart rate was a little bit high because I was pushing at a certain specific tempo, but it was in the where like I was like dying and I had to take breaks multiple times, which happened in the previous, plan. I was able to do a whole 3 miles and just knock it out, which for me at least, that was amazing. I've walked away from it feeling so good. I'm like, it's whatever it's happening, it's working. I need to continue to go with where I'm going with this plan, with my nutrition. I've had a couple of slip ups here and there this past week, but I'm not like super stringent on my nutrition just yet. But the good thing is that I have this, like, again, maybe my obsession with running has really kicked into overdrive where I'm literally like, you know what, I cannot have chips, I cannot have this, I can't have this because I just don't want to push back my running, and I don't want to push back all the gains that I've had in terms of my heart rate and my pace and all that kind of stuff. So in a way, my obsession with running has really become very productive for me because it's kind of mentally told me I need to do better and really focus in on what I want to do with my nutrition. So it's been much better this week overall. When it comes to nutrition, I wanted to ask you guys. So like on the days that I run, which I run 3 days a week, actually 4 days a week, so the days that I run, I feel and I find myself really craving carbs. I'm not sure why. The whole day, like I literally will run in the morning, and then the whole day I'm just like, I want, this. I want to eat some bread. I want to just eat something more like rice or something like that. I try not to eat cookies and stuff like that, but I just find myself craving more carbs. And I know when we run, we burn a lot more carbs, but it's just like, I'm just like, why am I eating so many carbs? Like, why am I craving carbs? And that's not normal for me because I'm so used to lifting weights where I'm just taking a lot of protein, and I would eat egg whites in the morning, and I would, have my protein shakes. And then for lunch, I would have like cauliflower, fried rice, stuff like that. And it's fine on my lifting days, no issues whatsoever. I don't get hungry. I don't crave anything. But then I find on the days that I do run, I'm just like constantly craving so much carbs to the point where I'm just like, what's going on with me? Why do I feel like I want to crave carbs? So I don't know if it's just because I'm running a lot more and maybe I'm burning a lot of glycogen as I'm running. So my body's just like, you're missing carbs. You need some on the day of. But that was just kind of one thing that I noticed in my nutrition the last couple of weeks is I'm just like, why am I craving carbs all the time? So it's really weird. I've still been very good about trying to stay normal within my nutrition goals. Tomorrow I do have my easy run planned. It's just again something that's not in my training plan, but I just want to get an extra rep in. Maybe I'll do 4 miles of just like a constant zone 2 training the whole time, just to continue to work on my zone 2 cardio, and trying to get as many miles as I can within that zone 2 because I'm noticing a big change in my pacing and my heart rate and all that kind of stuff too. So it's been amazing. I just thank you guys for always commenting and kind of sharing your stories because it's really insightful for me. I actually watch a lot of people's running vlogs or like their marathon training. I know we just had the Chicago Marathon, and so many people are posting about their experience, which is I'm just like someday I cannot wait to be there. I'm really hoping again with how my plan is working, I get my first marathon in the belt next year. Maybe I'll try to push in for two, and I really want to. My big bucket list is to do the LA Marathon, the New York Marathon, and the Chicago Marathon. I know for Chicago we have to qualify, so that'll be a work in progress. But LA is something I really am planning to do maybe in 2026 because by the time I'm ready to do the LA Marathon, I won't be ready in terms of my training. So I can't wait. It's a goal that I'm continuously setting for myself. I'm again trying to be as injury free as I can. So I'm not really pushing so much. I'm not like going all out to the point where I'm starting to notice any kind of muscle pain and anything like that. Everything's been pretty good, knock on wood. But it's just something that I want to continue to do and work on and hopefully be injury free because it's really a lot of fun, and I hopefully I don't have any setbacks. I'll go with this angle again. So one thing that running has helped me realize is that I have gas. And so what I mean by gas, and it's a term that's used a lot in the videography filmmaking world, which is gear acquisition syndrome. When you're so excited to start filming and to better yourself, you end up just buying new stuff because you think that's what's going to help you. So like I know I'm very guilty of this. I started off with a camera, like a Fuji camera, and then I end up just like spending so much money into like Sony and getting the top end cinema cameras, all that kind of stuff. So I spent a lot of money on that. And I am very guilty of having gas when it comes to videography stuff. But I started to notice, and again, this is probably because I'm so interested in running now, that I have gear acquisition syndrome when it comes to running now. So I have 4 shoes now. I know last time we talked, I only had 3. So I ended up finding the New Balance Rebel, no, New Balance Elite V3, not the V4, not the new one, but the V3. And this is more of the marathon, long distance running, carbon plated, very max cushion, but can also push the tempo shoe. I found that on sale on the New Balance, like, I guess what do you call it? It's like it's called New Balance Reconsidered. So like it's like a reconditioning refurbished, I guess. And so I found it on there for like $100, and I was like, and it was in my size. It was 11 and a half wide. Let me show you guys. I'm not a big fan of the colorway. One second. So it's this colorway. I'm not the biggest fan. At some points, it looks pretty nice. It's very purple. um, but nonetheless, I do like it. It's a very good shoe. I end up buying this because I was just like, I need a super shoe, and I don't. I know, guys. I don't need a super shoe because well, I'm running a 13-minute mile. So again, I have gas, and I did use a shoe for my speed workout this week, and it felt great. I can't wait to actually be in shape and be able to use this to its actual potential versus just me being a hobbyist right now. I want to be able to use this in my marathon, hopefully. So that's why I bought it, because I'm like, for $100 for a shoe that normally goes for 200 something dollars, I found it for $100. I'm like, you can't beat that. It's my size. It's wide. I've found out that a lot of the shoes, especially in running world, there are not a lot of wide options when it comes to these trainers and all that kind of stuff. Mostly it's New Balance that makes wide shoes. I know Adidas makes like the I think it was the Boston 12s. I tried those. Those really hurt my shins. But besides that, not a lot of companies make wide shoes, and I really do need wide shoes because my feet are just so damn wide. So it was kind of a perfect storm for me. I ended up buying it, but it's not something that I'm going to really depend on. I might do my 5K in it, but besides that, I'm not going to be actually utilizing it to its full potential until much later. I still prefer my SC Trainer 2 from New Balance. I just ran it today. Felt amazing. It's my favorite shoe overall. So what I want to talk about is, should I purchase like one of those running watches, like a Garmin's or the Coros Pace, I think it's called? The reason I ask is because I know a lot of people utilize them. I know they have really good statistics when it comes to your energy, whether or not you're fully recovered. They have good training plans. I've heard they're really, really strong and very much more accurate on the heart rate and all that kind of stuff. I've just seen a lot of benefits of it. I've never owned a Garmin or anything like that, and I don't really know if I really need it. Again, right now I use my Apple Watch Ultra 2 that my wife got me for Christmas last year. I love this thing. This is what I wear on my wrist all the time, even if I'm going to a nice dinner or whatever. This is what's on my wrist. So it's my favorite watch, and I don't know. Do you guys think it's worth it to get something like a Garmin, or should I just stick with my Apple Watch for now? And it again, Apple Watch does everything I need as well. I just want to see if it's something that you guys think will be a big difference maker for beginners. My gut is telling me no. I don't think I need something like that just yet, until probably just like my super shoe, until I'm actually able to utilize it to its full potential. Right now, it's just for me getting more mileage in. But I figured I'd ask because the community has been so good about answering a lot of my questions, especially in my videos. So I just figured I'd ask you guys, for those who started it, especially beginners, if you've done it before, have you found it to be helpful? Or if you're one of the more advanced runners, let me know if that's something that I really should think about. I figured I'd ask you guys because I know Black Friday is around the corner, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of them on sale. So if it's worth it to pick it up, let me know if it is, and then also let me know which one specifically. I'm not trying to, buy the $600 one, maybe something like a $200, $300 one. Let me know if there's one of those available, and if I should actually consider it. It's been just amazing. I have been truly enjoying running. I just feel like it's kind of brought me a lot of peace when I run too. The other day, I forgot my AirPods and at home, and I started running, and I was just like, oh my god, I totally forgot my AirPods. Normally I do need music to run to motivate myself, but I did a whole run without it, and it also just felt amazing, just being able to listen to everything around me. Also, just be able to take everything in, take the scenery in, take the fact that I'm running on a morning when when others are just barely getting up, I'm already out running. It just felt great. I do feel a lot more confident now running. Before I was a little bit more like I'm so slow that I'm ashamed of myself. And I think this is because again I follow so many people on social media that are running so much faster and look so cool the way they do it. And just like I'm not at that point yet, but I keep telling myself, you know what, I will be there. I have to just accept that this is part of the process of it, because my entire life before I turned 39, I was not very much into cardio, very much into running on a consistent basis. But now that I am, I'm going to just continue to go with it. So I'm trying to undo 39 years of non training in a matter of 1 year. So with that mindset, I've kind of just said, just keep going, trust the process. Again, thank you guys so much for always commenting, checking out my videos. This is just one of those raw editing, no, sorry, non-editing videos where I just kind of tell you guys how it's been. I do plan on doing a lot more production behind it, because this vlog is becoming very fun for me, where to the point where I want to take a lot more shots and more b-rolls, more story driven, just because I think that's how I feel I communicate the best when it comes to my journey. I do, I'm not the most present when it comes to speaking one-to-one like this, and it is something that's not in my comfort zone, but I'm getting better and I'm doing it just because I know it's going to help me in the long run. But I do want to start to add some more production value to it, and I'm planning a whole series of videos and making sure I'm staying consistent with it every week, just updates for you guys. But long story short, thank you again. It's been amazing. I can't wait for my 5K in a couple weeks. I can't wait to continue my 10K plan. I want to be one of the people someday that says, I'm going for an easy run for 8 miles. That just sounds amazing to me. So I can't wait for that. But thank you guys again, and I will see you guys next week.
I'm doing damage, the king's gambit. They do not understand it, cause I've been sharpening my blade.